Hello and welcome, Dean from Holborn's. Thank you so much for giving us your time. If ever there was a busy man in the current situation, it's somebody who owns and runs convenience stores. So thank you very much. For the people who are watching who don't specifically know who you are, could you just do a brief introduction?
Sure. Hi, my name's Dean Holborn. I have two family-run convenience stores in Redhill and South Nutfield, and we also have a florist. We've been trading now 45 years. I've been in the industry in excess of 30 odd years, 35 years. But they're run under an independent fascia, part of the Spa Blakemore Group, but two very well-run stores.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. So tell me, and this is a question that could have a very long answer. What is the current state of your business, and what were the immediate impacts that you saw from the coronavirus crisis?
The immediate impact, obviously, we saw things coming, but we didn't see how big it was going to be. I don't think immediate impact was just the level of customers that went through the store. So initially, before the lockdown was announced, we saw stores just grow in excess of probably 50% turnover immediately, because people all of a sudden were panic buying. So we was no different to a supermarket. Our shelves were being absolutely stripped. You know, it was the same stories you read everywhere else. So we had to manage people's expectations and levels of what they could buy. So that was the immediate effect. But that obviously then sort of changed to a different effect when the lockdown came.
So then the lockdown came, and how, as a business, did you have to adapt to the new situation, and what has been the effect of those adaptations?
So once the lockdown came, we then had to really change our view on the way. So we've gone from the shops being absolutely packed and, you know, too many people in the store, to actually managing numbers. So having someone at the doors. We put hand sanitizers, automatic dispensers. So as people come into the store, they sanitize their hands. We marked out the store in 2-meter grid format, like a lot of people in the industry have. We put, again, with the help from from the ACS and Blakemore, we downloaded a lot of posters to sort of guide people on distancing around the store. We put up screens for the staff at the counter. So obviously, we've had to, you know, as much as we're managing our customers, we've also got to manage our staff expectations as well. And we lost some staff immediately, you know, elderly staff that couldn't work, that were worried to work, as everyone has. Members of staff that, you know, had been ill over the years and decided that they didn't want to put themselves in that sort of risk. So you had to respect that. We were very lucky because a lot of students came back at the same time. University shut, so we had an influx of students come back, and obviously they're at home, they want to be out, they want to be working and earning money. So we supplemented a lot of regular staff university students that work quite well. People were taking on different people. So yeah, that was the immediate. Lost you there. Let's come back again.
Lost you as well, but I think you're back.
I'm here.
Yeah, you're back. Okay, sorry. Could you just repeat that last line?
That's right. So about the students coming back?
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, so we had a lot of students come back from university. They've basically filled the places of regular members of staff that, you know, were either too scared or through health issues or age. You're right, seem to be losing me. Am I losing you?
Yeah, I've got you now. Sorry about that.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So, and what's changed about the sort of product mix in your store and the merchandising? What changes have you made because of the situation for that?
We've probably increased our offering. You know, through Blakemore, we've got a very strong product range available to us. And I have to say, their stock levels on the whole have been, there's been patches at times, but on the whole, their stock levels have been very, very good. They've put, you know, a lorry specifically on for us, for my 2 stores, because the volume of stocks we're having. So we've ended up moving more to using our local suppliers as well. So we use a local butcher who supplies us, you know, 5 out of the 7 days. Hilliard's a fruit and veg wholesaler we've used locally for 25 years. Again, they're there every day at 6 o'clock. We ordered the night before, you know. So, and then we've got things like an artisan baker. Now, you know, we normally have like 10 loaves of this chap, but that's gone up to sort of 80 loaves plus a day per store. You know, and again, it's not cheap bread, but people are buying better. People are looking for that better option. They're not going out. They're not spending it in a pub or a restaurant. So I think people are eating better at home, a lot more fresh, amazing amount of fresh.
What about alcohol sales? Because obviously we're hearing that alcohol sales are up 22% in the off
I
trade.
don't believe it at all.
I don't believe it either. The problem is this is
I know.
Monday,
Yeah.
so people are going to think we're sitting this morning drinking. No, but
No.
about 22%. Are you seeing that in your stores?
So again, after the lockdown came, that was the next thing. We've always had strong on-license sales, off-license sales even. Sorry, we've always had strong sales, and we could see that was the next thing that was going to be hit. So you know, my wife does the ordering at the Nutfield store, and Hannah does the ordering at the Red Hill store, and we just spoke about it and said, right, let's up our levels here. And you know, and it is, again, people are buying, or we are delivering. So we've picked up a lot of home deliveries. There's a lot of people that are self-isolating, that, you know, can't leave the house through health issues or age. And you know, these people obviously have got the time, they want to be at home, they want to drink as well. So yeah, no, we're fulfilling their needs in that respect as well. It's become a big part of the business. It's
Great.
always been a big part of the business, but it's, yeah.
And just before I look at future, do you think that, I mean, obviously I know you as a store, and I know the Holborn's brand, so to speak, and you are very community focused and community led anyway. Have you, presumably that has become even more important in this time, and people have pulled together even more, and the feedback you told me earlier has been great from the community.
It's been amazing. So, you know, as you said, we are communities through different events throughout the year. But what we have seen in the last few weeks is people gravitating locally. They don't want to go to supermarkets. They don't want to put themselves in a supermarket where the catchment area is going to be a lot bigger than ours. So they stay local in their village, and they stay local to the radio shop. And the feedback is just amazing. You know, cards, gifts. You know, a retired chap sent a check in for £30 and was like, "You don't need to do that."
What, just for the staff type thing? Or?
Oh yeah, he just, as a thank you, just said, you know, he said, no, you don't need to do what you're doing, but you're doing it. And so, if anything, long term, you know, anything, it's brought the community closer. It's brought people closer, and hopefully, you know, they'll remember this. So yeah. It's been quite humbling, actually.
Yeah.
You don't do it for that. You don't do it for that. You don't.
No.
You know, you're not in it for that. But it's been quite humbling.
No, you made me tear up a little bit. Okay, so final question then, and as we know, nobody has a crystal ball. Nobody knows how long this is going to last for, or what the long-lasting effects are. But what's your gut feel? What do you think the future looks like for your business? What might have changed? What would be the new normal, do you think, in the industry?
Probably, if I was brutally honest, you know, 6 months' time or a year's time, when you know, people will probably go back to living out supermarkets as they do, but they will. I'm not sure. There'll be a new customer base. I think our customer base in the convenience sector will be stronger. There's a lot more people found us that probably never knew we were there, and I think those people will remember that. You know, in times of stress or need, when they, you know, stress purchase, they'll be out there for it. So I think for our sector, long term, you know, because, you know, we're doing this, but it's being done up and down the country, as you know, by phenomenal retailers in this industry. So I think long term, we'll see people, you know, realise they don't need to live out of a supermarket. They don't need to buy the volumes of food. People have been buying volumes of food, but they don't need to buy the volumes of food they do buy. And hopefully it will bring people closer together in the long term. Where it ends, who knows? Who knows?
Thank you very much, Dean from Holborn. It's been an absolute delight to speak to you. Thank you. And it's really good just to hear what's actually going on down on ground level rather than just what we're seeing, and to understand the things that are being put in place by, fantastic retailers such as yourself to help get us through this crisis. Dean from Holborns, thank you so much for your time. It's been an absolute pleasure speaking to you.
Thanks, Katie. You're welcome. Take care and look after yourself.
Thank you.